Hi, my name is Ashley Cepeda, and the movie I chose to analyze for this media project was Sound of Metal. The movie's main themes are loss and change. The film itself follows Ruben, a drummer's journey with becoming deaf, and throughout the movie, just see him um, struggle to accept the fact that he's deaf, and just how his whole life is affected by it. Um, it was really interesting to see because him becoming deaf had this sort of ripple effect into every other aspect of his life. It affected his relationship, his career as a musician, um, his communication abilities, obviously, and also it uh, triggered his addiction, which is why he gets interned into a rehab center for the deaf. Um, at the rehab center for the deaf, it was interesting to see all the different forms of communication that were used. You see notepad writing, um, lip reading, ASL. Um, there was also some phone slash computer transcribing, which was really cool to see because I had never seen that before. Um, they the machines or technology would take spoken words and it um, on a screen you'd see it all written out for the other person to interpret, which was what Ruben used a lot of the movie before he learned ASL. So that was cool to see. Um, Something else I found interesting about the movie was the different points of view regarding deafness. And at the rehab center, the manager, Joe is his name. Joe and his he actually asked Ruben to leave after Ruben gets a cochlear implant, because at that community center their belief is that deafness is not something that needs to be fixed, which is what cochlear implants represented to them. So that was their belief, but Ruben, on the other hand, strongly believed that that was his only solution and that it was something that he wanted done. So it's interesting the two contrasting opinions about, some people think that deafness they don't need to do anything about it, and other people think that cochlear implants are something that will make their lives a lot easier. Because they can. He gets it. When Ruben gets the cochlear implants, I liked how the movie did a good job of showing showing the viewer what it kind of sounds like, because I know we've talked a lot about cochlear implants in this class and in other classes, and how it's not quite the same as regular our hearing, but it was one thing actually listening to what it sounds like to have those cochlear implants. It was really distorted, and honestly, I don't know. Well, when the movie Ruben, the movie ends with him taking off the cochlear implant and just living with the silence, because you see him in crowded areas and just it's just really not the same, and it almost hurts to have something that's not up to par when you had, I don't know, really good, I mean, obviously good quality hearing, to only hearing like static, and or not only but mostly hearing static, and I don't know, it's just not the same. And it was interesting to see the sound in the movie was really good. um the messages in the movie were uh about letting go and accepting disabilities. It takes a lot of patience, time, and sometimes a person who's gaining this disability with communication just needs to figure things out for themselves, and there's only so much you can do sometimes. um they just need to find out for themselves, I guess. And that was one of the big takeaways I took from the movie. Overall, this movie had been on my watch list for a while, so it was nice to finally have a excuse to watch it sooner rather than later. um I think it gave a good perspective on deafness and what it's like to communicate as a deaf person. Thank you.